Well, we got them all fleshed. Now we got to move on to our next step and process. We're going to get them all salted down. Got 7 of them, actually 8. I need to get that, and I'll get it in the morning. It was already dried, so we'll start off and just start salting these down, and we'll get all 7 of them salted and get them all salted down, and we'll let that set for 24 hours. And we'll flesh them, and we'll see how that turns out. And that's the next step to the process, getting them all salted down. Probably have to do a little work on them heads, but I'll take a knife to them, get them all fleshed out. But the salt in here. Get it all in there, get that tail real good. All right, now we're going to turn it inside out. And I'm going to stuff this thing full of salt. We'll get it all put in there. Get it all full of salt. Get it all the way up in there. Get it all spread out. Plenty of salt. And then we'll just roll it up. Just roll it up and let that, keep that salt in there. And I'll set that in this tub. And we'll do all 7 of them and let them set for 24 hours. And that's the next step. We've had them sitting in salt for the second time for 24 hours, and now we're gonna take them out, get rid of the salt, turn them inside out, and we're gonna put them in the pickle. We'll shake them out real good. Turn them inside out. Get some of that salt off there, best we can. Now we're just going to set them down in this pickle. And we'll leave them in there for 24 hours too. That is 1 pound of salt per 2 gallons, or per 1 pound of salt per 2 gallons of water. And that's your pickle. And we'll leave that in there for 24 hours, and then we'll take them out, let them dry off a little bit before we tan them. All right, that's the next process we're going to. Get another one of these out. Shake it off. I'm just trying to save some of this salt. I've ran out of salt, and if it's not too bad, I'm going to use it on this last coon in here. And we'll shake it out and get him down in the pickle. Get as much of that off we can. Shake some of that off. Get that down in the pickle. And we'll get them all in there. And we'll see you in 24 hours. So we had them in the pickle for 24 hours. Now we're going to put them in this clean water and neutralize that salt. And then we go to the next process, we'll wash them. So we're going to get them all put in there and let them set for about a half hour. Well, we've let them neutralize in that water for about a half hour. And we're just going to squeeze them off. Get them all running out. And then we'll go and take them. Take them to the back here and put them in a Dawn dish soap and get them all rinsed off. Bring them out. Bring them through there real good. We'll get them all washed up, and then we'll get them wrung out and get them drying. Then tomorrow night we'll put the tanning solution on them. If they're dry enough, we'll put the tanning solution on them. And that's the next process. Well, we got them all salted, put them in a pickle, and now we're all cleaned up, got them washed and degreased, and all looking good. Gonna let them dry overnight, and then we'll tan them. And that's how we're gonna do it. All washed up and looking good. Beautiful coon. A couple of really big ones in here too. I got one in here that has a bob tail. I've never caught one like that. But I don't know if he got hurt or if he actually was that way when he was born. But they are beautiful. Looking good. Well, we're going to let that all soak in. We've got them all tanned up, and we're going to let it soak in overnight, 24 hours, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to turn them inside out and let them dry out. And that'll be the end of it until we have to start breaking them. So that'll be our next step. Turn them inside out and let them dry out and then break them. And that'll be it. Well, tonight we've been stretching them a little bit and still cleaning them up a little, and they're still a little wet, and letting them dry out, but they're looking good. Starting to dry out. We re-scraped them and get off any stuff we could get off, and we'll keep breaking them over the next couple days. So that's where we're at. Still had this one, and this one I dried before I tanned it, so it's a little different process for it. But that's where we're at. That's what we're doing, getting them all stretched out. All right, we'll talk to you later. Well, we're getting our coon all broke and put up. Got 2 of them going so far. This one here, we dried before we started the process. So actually it turned out a little better and it dried out a little quicker. So this one here we didn't dry. We just fleshed it and salted it. But we're getting them took care of. Having a hard time with them. They get staying a little wet, but you really have to break them. So I'm just going to keep breaking them and next couple of days, and hopefully they'll dry out pretty quick. But how we're doing that, I'm just using my fleshing board and just kind of stretching it. If you see that white, that's what you're doing. Just keep going until it turns white and just keep stretching it. And it takes some doing. But we'll get all these stretched out and get them dried out, turned inside out. But it's going to be a day or two. Really get them stretched. And I bring them over here to this other one too. I put it on this one and then just kind of bend it over there and stretch it. That's when I get them good enough, then I'll get me a piece of rebar and start stretching them a little more. Really got to get them good and stretched, flexible. And that's how we're doing it. Just kind of stretching them out there. Really get it on it until you see it turn white. And back, I've been sanding the back down and getting it a little thinner because it's hard to get. That's how we're doing it, just stretching her out. And the other thing I found is don't hang them by their nose. It elongates the nose and makes it harder to work with. But we get them stretched out. Put that leg over that point. And I can just pull it down, stretch it out real good. I can get right underneath there. Take that one, do the same thing. Pull it down over that point. Just kind of twist it around. That breaks that skin. Just keep doing that. I'm just working through all these. Get them broke out down, then they'll dry a little better. That's what we're doing. Just breaking that skin down so it'll dry out a little better. That's what we're doing. That head a little bit. hidden back is what's hard to get. And we'll check back later. Well, we got about half of them done, and it turned out pretty good. I will say this is first for me because I've not done a whole lot of tanning. This is a first for me, so I've learned some things. One, I think you should dry them first. When you dry them first, I think they dry a lot faster after you tan them. So, like, I got a couple, boy, they just have had a hard time. And the other thing I learned, don't hang them by their nose. I already have, so I've just kept with it. But it makes it a lot harder to get them turned, and it elongates that head, so you really got to break them down. And I could have broke them down a lot better, but they turned out good for my first time, I think. We'll see how long they last, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun doing all the tanning, and it's coming to an end. We'll talk to you later.